Volkswagen has come under a lot of pressure in recent years for what has been termed its diesel scandal. However, many years ago, indeed at its very inception, it was part of what I would term the greatest automobile fraud of all time. Adolf Hitler liked cars. Before he went to prison for treason in 1923, he had a chauffeur and a car, and whilst he was in prison he ordered a new Mercedes, paid for by the Beckstein family. They are the people who made pianos. In 1934, now as dictator, he came across the idea of a car which could carry 2 adults and 3 children, reach speeds of 100 kilometers an hour, and which would be accessible to everyone. This would be a people's car, Volkswagen in German. The car would cost 990 marks, which is very roughly around 4,000 euros today. The average wage was then around 1,600 to 1,700 marks per year, so in theory it would be possible for somebody to afford a car which would cost around 7 months' wages. There was only one small problem with this idea. It was not possible to produce a car for only 990 marks. Therefore, if private industry could not do it, then the state would. In 1937, the company was founded by the German Labour Front, Deutsche Arbeitsfront, which was headed by Robert Ley, and which would become Volkswagen. Robert Ley had 2 big interests in life: fast cars and the bottle, and sometimes he combined the 2, even smashing up a rather expensive Mercedes during the 1937 visit of the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. It seems that Robert did not realise that the factory gates needed to be open in order for him to drive out. In 1938, the company became Volkswagen. Construction of the Volkswagen plant near Wolfsburg began in early 1938. It was conceived as a self-sufficient model factory. Size, essential technical equipment and production depth were closely modelled on Ford's River Rouge plant in Detroit, which was then considered the most modern automobile factory anywhere in the world. The German Labour Front intended to train everyone there, with courses beginning in October 1938. Today, if you want to buy a car, you get offered all sorts of financial packages to pay for it in installments. The Nazis also thought of this, but with a difference. With a big publicity campaign launched on the 12th of August 1938, interested parties would pay 5 marks per week in order to contribute to the construction of their vehicle. It had a great publicity slogan: 5 Mark die Woche musst du sparen, willst du in eigenen Wagen fahren. 5 marks a week you save, and then you will be, if you want to go out in your own car. Actually, it rhymes in German. Let's see if we can do a better job of that. 5 marks a week must you put aside if you want your own car to drive. Almost, I'm getting there anyway. You can make your own poem up. But anyway, it's a good slogan in German. It's so good that it attracted around 336,000 people, some of whom were even encouraged to pay more than the 5 marks to the scheme. In exchange for paying more, they'd get priority. The fundamental problem, however, was that no one had done a business plan or even the maths, or at least that's the way it seems. They could sell the cars at this price, but they couldn't build them. Of the over 1/3 Germans who paid into the scheme, not one got the VW for which contributions had been made. I only know of one VW that got delivered, as you can see in the picture. Hitler got one for his 50th birthday in April 1939, although I doubt he paid into the scheme. So what happened to the money that got VW started? The Nazi bureaucracy was very corrupt. I have no doubt that some may have gone into Robert Lay's bar bills, but the whole thing just didn't make sense from the start. No one got their money back. Had the war not happened, I doubt anyone would have got the car either, at least not at this price. Maybe they would have offered them cars, but at a much greater price, or something else. I don't know. At the end of the day, it was a Nazi dictatorship, and taking people to court wasn't really an option. So, how was it for the victims? Well, given the state that the Nazis left Germany in, I don't suppose the victims really thought too much about it, as they would have had much greater problems to worry about. If you've enjoyed listening to this, please consider subscribing. Thanks for being here.